Spotting wildlife is one of the most incredible and rewarding things you can do when exploring nature. There's nothing like seeing wildlife in their own habitat or just simply going about their day. Some are harder to see than others, which makes them even more majestic. The moose is the largest member of the deer family. A male bull can weigh up to 1,500 pounds and stand over 6 feet tall at the shoulder, and their antlers can span up to 6 feet. But don't let the size fool you. They are still hard to find and camouflage very well into the forest. These beautiful creatures can be challenging to find but incredibly rewarding when you find them in the wild. Whether you're in the wilds of the Northwest US, Canada, or Northern Europe, knowing how to spot a moose can make all the difference in your photography experience.
In this guide, we'll share everything you need to know about spotting moose. From the best times and places to look to the essential gear and tips that will help you get the perfect shot. So grab your camera and let's do this.
Adult moose have few predators aside from humans. However, wolves, bears, and even cougars can sometimes prey on moose calves. Despite their large size, they're excellent swimmers. They can dive up to 20 feet underwater to forage for aquatic plants. Only male moose grow antlers, and they shed them every single winter. So if you're hoping to get the classic antler shot, plan your trip around fall when their antlers are fully grown. Moose are crepuscular animals. This means that they are most active during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk. These are the ideal times for spotting them in the wild. Early mornings and late evenings are when moose are feeding, wandering, and moving through their territory, which makes it much easier to spot them. So I highly suggest getting up very early or staying out late in order to increase your chances in finding them. It is equally important to know where to look for moose before going out. Moose are solitary animals, and they tend to roam in areas where they can find an abundance of food, especially aquatic plants, shrubs, and trees like willows. They prefer cool climates and can often be found in dense forests, wetlands, and areas with open meadows. Swamps and wetlands are perfect. Moose love wet areas because they can feed on aquatic plants and shrubs. Dense forests are also great, especially near water. These are prime moose habitats, so look for areas with thick vegetation. Moose are often found near forest clearings as well, where they can graze on shrubs. It's important to get very adventurous to be able to increase your chances to find a moose in the wild. They're very solitary animals, so it's very hard to find them. So sometimes you have to go very far in a body of water or hike into the deep forest, but just make sure to keep your distance as you would with any other wildlife. Capturing a moose in its natural environment requires the right equipment. Wildlife photography is all about timing, precision, and having the right tools for the job. Here's what you'll need. When photographing wildlife, you don't want to get too close, both for your own safety and to avoid disturbing the animal. A good wildlife lens allows you to capture close-up shots without invading the personal space of the animal. A 70 to 200 millimeter lens is versatile for medium-range shots, while a 150 to 600 millimeter lens offers more reach if the moose is farther away. For these photos, I use my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeters connected to my Sony a7 III. Stabilizing your camera is crucial, especially when shooting at longer focal lengths. A tripod is a must if you're shooting at low light during dawn or dusk. If you're moving around a lot or need a bit more flexibility, a monopod might be a better option. Tripods are very helpful when your subject is moving as well. As you can see in this picture, this young moose was playing around the water and constantly running at high speeds. So it was very helpful to have a tripod that I can move my camera on and not have too many blurry pictures. Moose can sometimes be very difficult to find because they can easily camouflage in the forest. Binoculars are much easier to handle than a camera with a large wildlife lens hooked on it. If you're trying to find animals and spot them while handling around a large wildlife lens, your arms can get really tired very easily, unless you use a tripod for support. However, it can be much easier for you just to use binoculars. Binoculars can be used to find the wildlife you're trying to photograph and then pick up your camera and snap the perfect photo. To capture this photo, I aligned my camera's lens with one of the binocular's eyepieces, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, after I spotted these two moose, I quickly picked up my camera and I took these. A lens hood will help prevent lens flare from the low-angle sunlight of dawn or dusk. Additionally, polarizing filters are handy for reducing reflections on the water and enhancing the contrast between the moose and its surroundings. Moose are always not easy to spot, and they can be very skittish, so stay quiet and have patience and avoid any sudden movements. Moose are excellent at hearing, so if you're too loud and make any sudden gestures, you might scare them off before you get a shot. The other thing to watch out for is for signs of moose activity, such as tracks, droppings, or areas where they've been, recently feeding. Respect their space. Moose are generally not aggressive unless they feel threatened, so make sure to stay at least 100 yards away. Pay attention to their behavior. They're mostly solitary, but during mating season, which is around late fall, male bulls can become more visible as they are searching for their mates. During our road trip to Glacier National Park, we set forth with a singular mission to find these majestic creatures, particularly the legendary bull moose. With his massive antlers, we were armed with research and excitement. We ventured into the wild and eager to turn this dream into a reality. Our first stop was Fisher Cap Lake in Glacier National Park, which is known to be a hotspot for moose sightings in Montana. We got up really early and hiked all the way to the lake. 2 hours passed, but no moose appeared. We had set up a tripod, looked around with the binoculars, with the camera, and still nothing. However, the lake was really beautiful, so it was still worth a while. But like I said before, one thing you need with wildlife is patience. Many times it's very helpful to ask other people you run into, or if you're in a national park or a national forest, ask a ranger. They might know where the last sighting was. We woke up the next morning really early again and tried again. We went back to Fisher Cap Lake, and this time our patience was rewarded. We found a mama moose and a calf, and the young moose going crazy playing in the water, which was really cool to see. Still, no bull moose. That afternoon, we hiked to Grinnell Lake, which is a breathtaking place, located between the many peaks and deep inside the forest of Glacier National Park. Approached the shore, we spotted a bull moose lying low in the tall grass. He was partially concealed by the surrounding vegetation, and we quickly snapped a few photos. We were careful not to intrude, and then we turned around to continue to enjoy the lake, hoping that at one point the moose would stand up. But just a few minutes later, my wife whispered, "Oh my God, turn around slowly." He had awakened. The king of the forest. He did not mind us at all. In fact, he barely paid attention to us. He was colossal. The sheer size of it was astonishing, and its antlers, vast and commanding, seemed to stretch into the sky as if crowned by the very heavens themselves. A true titan of the wild, eyes filled with ancient wisdom. He stood there, embodiment of primal power, a living legend of the forest. One very important tip: when you encounter a moose, be quick with your camera, but always respect their space. These creatures can decide to lay down for another nap at any instant, leaving you with nothing but memories of the encounter. Spotting and photographing a moose in the wild is a rewarding experience that requires preparation, patience, and the right gear. By following the tips in this guide, you'll increase your chances of encountering these majestic creatures and capturing stunning photographs. And that wraps up our quick guide. Remember, my biggest takeaway: patience is your best lens. Stay safe, be respectful, and you'll be amazed by the shots you can get. What kind of wildlife do you want to see next? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, a quick like and a subscription to our channel would be great. Thanks for watching, and happy shooting.